everyone, it's Jordan, and today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated releases of 2021. So, obviously, it's Bookmas Day... anyways, it's, I forgot what, not sure if I'm doing 10 or 11, but, or is it 9? I can't leave track, but anyways, I've always do this every year. I talk about my most anticipated releases of the next year, and surprisingly, a lot of books that I'm anticipating some of them are sequels to books that I really enjoyed, or some books that, from authors that I like, and also, a lot of them are like, there were a lot of books I'm anticipating this year, but let's talk about the books I'm anticipating for next year. So the first book I'm anticipating for 2021 is Happily Ever Afters by, Elise Bryant, and this is about a girl who wants to be the main character of her own story, and she always reflects some of the characters that she has read in romance books as herself, but then she decided to go into creative writing class, and of course everything, the story goes from there. That's all I want to know about it. I love reading books about creative writing and, well, characters going into creative writing, and I know there's one book in particular that's on my TBR that has similar story concepts to it, but it's like, when I saw the cover of it, because I forgot which, I'm not sure if Epic Reads did, they did book recommendations for, like, different majors, but for people that have taken in college, and I know, of course, I was waiting for the one in creative writing because that's what I majored in college, well, English major, but still, and that book popped up, and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to read it because I just love books about characters writing in general, and I'm just really excited to read it. The next book that I'm anticipating for is You Have a Match by Emma Lord, who's the author of Tweet Cute, and I really enjoy that, but this one is about a girl who took a DNA test because her friends, give her a nudge or something like that, and then she discovers that she has a sister, and she's going to meet her sister for the first time that she never knew all of her life, and that really not only just grabbed my interest because it's a book by Emma Lord, but it's also about a character discovering that they have a sibling that they never met, and I'm just excited to read it because I love reading books about siblings and different perspectives of people having siblings, because I have a sister who I love very much, and of course some people have different relationships with their siblings, and I'm just really excited about this one the most for some reason out of all the books on my list, but I'm also excited about the other books, but this one I'm just very excited for. And the next book I'm anticipating for is All the Tides of Fate by Adeline Grace, which is a sequel to All the Stars and Teeth, and I'm really excited about that. And if you haven't read the first book is about a princess who has powers, and she couldn't control them, and then her parents sent her away to how to figure out how to use them, and then she meets its pirates, and that's all I want to say about the first book, and I love the first book so much, and I'm just really excited about the sequel, and it's a duology, and I'm sad that it's actually going to be the second and final book, but I'm excited about where the story's going to go after the first book, and yeah, I'm just excited about this sequel, and that's one of the ones I've been very anticipating for the next year. The next book I'm anticipating for the next year is The Faux Love Story by Lone Lee, which is about two characters who are the son and daughter of different restaurants, and their restaurants are rivals, and they form a relationship. I'm excited about this one, not just because the main characters are Vietnamese Americans, and I want to know, and I want to learn more about the culture, but also this book just reminds me of Romeo and Juliet a bit, just because both of the restaurants are enemies, and I'm just also curious about different restaurants, because I know every restaurant is different, and they serve different foods, and I'm just curious about this one. And plus, I've been wanting to read more contemporary lately, and especially YA, even though I have so many that I haven't read yet, but this one just really caught my eye, not just because of the title, but also what the synopsis is, and I'm just curious about this one, and it just sounds cute to me because both families are enemies, but their kid beginning a relationship, and I just want to read more contemporary lately, and I have so many more on this list. Half of it is fantasy, and the other half is contemporary, which is very odd for me, but yeah, I still want to read this book, and plus it comes out sometime in February, so of course it's perfect time to read it for Valentine's Day, so yeah. And the next book that I'm anticipating for is Reaper of Souls by Rena Baron, which is the second book of Kingdom of Souls, which I've read earlier this year in 2020, and I really enjoyed it. And if you haven't read the first book is about a girl who is part of the family of witch doctors, but she's the only one who doesn't have any powers. So she calls to the a demon and to borrow some of the powers in exchange for years of her life and to search for the missing children. And I really enjoyed it. I thought the world was very interesting, and I'm kind of curious about where the story's going to go and if there's any more world expanding in that world, and I'm just really excited about that. And I'm just curious about the sequel, even though there's some books that I'm like, sequels I'm definitely interested in, and some that I'm like really excited about. But this one, I'm just really curious on what happens to the characters, and I do love the characters in this book, and yeah, I'm just excited about the sequel, and I thought it was gonna come out earlier, but it's like I read the first book and I really enjoyed it, and I just was excited about the second book, and yeah, this is another sequel that I'm really excited about. The next book that I'm anticipating for is Hot British Boyfriend by Christy Boyce, and this book is about a girl who's been rejected by her crush so harshly that she decided to go to her high school study abroad in England, and then she meets this guy, and that's all I want to know about it. And I'm just, with a lot of contemporaries, I just want to know little about, but I just know that there might be a relationship that'll happen in books. I'm just really excited about this one, just because I never read any books that a character goes to a study abroad before, and I'm kind of curious about their experience because I never done that when I was in college, and I'm just curious about, and I know some of my friends from school has done study abroad, and I'm just curious about it, and I want to know their experience about it, and I'm just really excited about it, especially when it deals with traveling. I hardly read any books that deals with travel. I only read one book this year that deals with traveling, and yeah, I'm just excited about this one. Plus the title like literally caught my eye. I was like, definitely want to read it, so that's one of the ones that I'm definitely anticipating for 2021. And the next book that I'm anticipating for is Pride and Premedication. Sorry, I have the list written down here, and it's by Triza Price. And this one really sounds interesting because it's a Pride and Prejudice retelling, but Elizabeth Bennet is a detective, and I'm so hooked because I finally watched Pride and Prejudice with my sister, and I really enjoyed it, and I haven't read the book for 2 years now, and I've read it in college, and I really enjoy that, and now hearing that there's a mystery novel that involves Pride and Prejudice, I'm definitely anticipating it because I'm curious on how that's gonna work, and I just want to know what happens, and yeah, because it sounds like it's one of the books that I've read that's also retelling, but it's Say and Charlotte. That's it. That's a retelling of Sherlock Holmes, and that just reminds me of that, and I'm definitely gonna read it because I'm just really curious about it, and plus I liked Pride and Prejudice, and it's a mystery, so I've been craving mysteries, and I haven't read a lot lately, so yeah, I'm definitely anticipating a mystery book that involves Pride and Prejudice, and I'm just dang excited. And the next book that I'm anticipating for is People We Met on Vacation by Emily Henry. This is the only adult romance book that is on my anticipated list, just because I haven't found one that caught my eye, but since she wrote Beach Read, which I have not read yet, but I really want to, and I feel and this one is about two people who are going on vacation, and of course they meet, and that's all I want to know about it, and I just know it's going to be cute, and I just love the cover, and I'm just excited about it, and I'm just really, really been wanting to read more adult romances, but I haven't found the ones that probably will fit for my taste. I don't know. I just want to read it, and I'm just excited that I actually have one book in my anticipated list that is not YA, but I've just been wanting to read more adult romances, and I'm just really been wanting to read it, and I'm just excited. And the next book I'm anticipating for is Blaze of Secrets by Trisha Levenseller, who's the author of Daughter of the Pirate King duology, Warrior of the Wilds, and The Shell Between Us, which I have not read yet, but I'm anticipating this book because it's a new YA fantasy series, and I'm just excited about it. And what I know about this book is about a girl who's chooses metal over people, and she has a power where she can make weapons, but her weapons can steal people's secrets, which that sounds really cool, and I just love her books, and I'm just really curious about this one, especially when it said book 1 of this series, and I'm like, it's gonna be a new fantasy series, and I'm just excited about it, and I'm hoping to read The Shadow Between Us before reading this one, just because I'm like, feel bad for not reading it, but I'm still excited about it, and she's becoming one of my favorite authors so far, and I'm just excited about whatever new books that she has coming out. And the last book I'm anticipating for next year is Last Chance Books by Kelsey Rodkey, which is about 2 people who work in a bookstore. One works in a family bookstore that's been owned for generations, and one works at the chain bookstore, which are trying to shut the other bookstore down. And this really reminds me of You've Got Mail, because that's one of my favorite rom-com movies of all time, and I'm just been craving for books like that, and I'm just really wanted to read it, and I'm just excited about it, especially when it reminds me of one of my favorite rom-com movies of all time. So that's all the books that I am most anticipating for 2021. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and comment down below what books that you're anticipating for 2021. And if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and click the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!